Hello Blender folks, welcome back. Let's see if everything is correct. Yes. So I couldn't finish the previous tasks. Actually I was just in the beginning. As you see, I was doing the custom shapes. I would like to have done all that, but it was not possible. I got into interesting revisions on the methods for making custom shapes, right, widgets. And so we are doing this for now. Let's go back here, and actually here, and there we go. So what I found out as I was working on that is that, of course, as you see here, the origin of the object is now on the object itself. So I'm not working for many of those custom shapes. The original object is not planted there, right? So it's wherever it is important. So then regarding the model, especially for the ones that are not that are centralized, like this shape here, for example. However, this one is already cannot be done exactly on the same way, because unless I have two objects, one for each side. But what I was trying to do is to see if I could have some alternative to that. And so whatever, and do not apply location for the object. Yes, we can apply scale, because then, let's see, do you have apply here on this menu? I don't see it. So anyways, I could apply. Then what will happen is that this will reset to 0, but not the real scale. So apply scale. Yeah, so you see it's 1 everything XYZ, but the object has changed scale. Same for rotations. So for example, I got this object, and of course the mirror modifier will make this thing problematic. So let's do something else. I'll duplicate that, then I will apply the mirror modifier, whichever the two. I will, and then let's say I want this slight rotation on this, and then I do that. And yes, this could also get some. Okay, as you see, the origin I've placed on the middle, so basically center of geometry, or in that case I just picked something like that, and 3D cursor to selected. Okay, then I could change the origin. Maybe it's slightly different, doesn't matter much here. Just showing origin to 3D cursor, that's right. And another thing that I'm not sure, but I think it's important, well, maybe not, but do you see the axis gizmo for this object, or for this object? It is aligned with the axis gizmo of the armature, which actually this is stacking, but we don't see what is the object and what is the armature. Apparently the armature we cannot see right now, but you see this axis gizmo, it's aligned with world space indeed. So here, and not this one though, so I'm not sure about this particular case. We'll test it out, but this one it is. And now let's see the armature, where it is. Here, the armature. And if this is a mess because we have the bones axis showing. I'll have to get the bones axis not showing for a while. So then we can see here is the axis gizmo for the orientations, right, for the armature object. And so you see it is aligned with that one. And I believe this is important to have 000 settings for the custom shape, right? So for example, here is the armature. I go on pose mode. We don't see it, but it's here, right? the bone and with its widget, and as you see here on the viewport display custom shape panels 0 0 0 0 0 all its default scale default. Why that? Because I believe well, in part because of what I said. This is the origin is here. Actually, the origin isn't necessarily matching the bone itself. Let's go to armature and see. Yes, the armature is actually, sorry, the origin of the custom shape is where it is, axis, is at the same spot as the, not the origin of the bone, but let's say its head, right? And even its alignment in this case are matching. I don't know exactly what are all the specifications, but, and then of course for the object, again, let's hide the armature just for a while. Okay, so the axis of the object, the mesh object, is matching the armature ones, and yes, there's all the applying stuff, right? So it had already applied rotations exactly. As soon as I get this position, I apply, and then and I try to maintain these things on this or world axis orientation, like same as armature. The location we can, the scale we apply to. The origin cannot be put to the, because if I do that, so let's set the origin of that object to world origin. Let's set object to 3D cursor, and then what this will do is that you see my object still here, but as we see in the bones, where is the, it is it goes right there. It's like it's taking the origin, and because the object is here, like the object, the real object will remember it was here. How do we see it? I've hidden it. Yeah, you see it's here. So this thing, this spatial distance between origin and object, it got here, right? Stairs up, and then I cannot have, then I have to adjust all these things to get the matching and all that. And there could be other ways, of course, like changing the bones rest position, right? But so this is why I cannot do this thing. If I want to work directly the custom shapes, edit them directly on the position they would have for the armature. So instead of that, what I've done was the following. I get this the bones, right? And then I pick this position with the cursor, and then, oh, hold on, let's get the screencast. Well, it's already enabled. And then this would be the set origin. Doesn't matter if it's not in the center of geometry. It can be provided it's symmetrical, that's fine, at least on this sense. And then there it is, set origin to 3D cursor. There we go. So as you see now, things apparently are stacking here, and exactly what is stacking is yes, so you see, and the custom shapes mesh object and the custom shape as pick the wrong one then. Let's do it differently. I want to hide what is the okay, I want to hide this thing, and I want to select this. There we go. And now for these ones, the eyes, I'm attempting to do something slightly different. Okay, so we don't need here this so do not apply location, right? Do not apply location for the only scale and rotation for the, because if we do that, this thing will go to wait, it didn't, yes, you see its origin went there. And what that does is that although the object stays here, its origin is there. This sounds interesting for rigging features, but this is not a rigging feature that needs to follow the character. So it's a different thing. And then as I get the armature again, what we see is again that bad thing, right? Bad behavior, that it's not good for us. Alright, let's undo that stuff. So do not apply all transforms, do not apply all locations to the custom shapes, no all transforms, no apply location. Okay, let's go now to the, this one is done, it's completed, that's great, but we are now having to deal with this one. And this is the case where if I want to reuse the same, I cannot make these strange rotations, right, or transforms, because then I'm not sure I can symmetrize its functionalities as a custom shape. And this is what I'm gonna attempt right now. So I'm doing this experimentally here because it's interesting. Because if this worked, this is a simple case, I could use the same thing for all the other bones which require symmetry. So what I have here is an object which has this tilt of rotation, but it is not applied yet. So if I reset the rotations, okay, it's still safe. But this doesn't seem very good, but let's see if I apply right now. So I need to save this just in case something terrible. Yes, back up. And then let's apply rotations. I'd like to have this in this menu also. Okay, so here apply rotations. And so now see that the axis gizmo, as I was expecting, it gets reorganized. And this got reset to 0. So now this is the original rotation, but this is dangerous, right? Because now if I wanted this back to a neutral alignment, I would have lost it. I'll have to realign the mesh, and that is not good. Now, if I want to learn if I can reuse this thing to the other side. And so I'm making, you see, I'm working with a left side mesh object for custom shape. It has this custom CTM. It's the 01 to stay in the top of this list, and then I. Okay, so that actually this is left eye. I don't know if I will require a right one. Okay, so that everything is already organized here. But it yes, it has a mirror modifier which I'm not using. If I use the mirror modifier at this stage, what would that do? For some reason, oh, the scale. I need to apply the scale as well. So apply scale because I've made change to that. And again, do not make, in this case, yes, it was somewhere like here the position I wanted. It is already some tilting, which I think is good because the eye surface mesh object also has some curvature, right? So maybe a little. The location is okay, I don't need to apply it. I shouldn't apply it because this will make this origin thing bad. But maybe for this case it could be useful. I don't buy this. I think it will often be a bad idea, but it would be okay. So the origin goes back there, but the object stays in place. Let's not do that for now. Let's just see what I can do here. I need to assess the. Okay, so here what's happening on this circumstance that you see the widgets are tilted, but this is because I had some. Wait, why is this happening actually? Oh yes, it's the bones. This rotation is because of the bone. The fact that I need to counter this thing with negative 90 is because of the eye bone here, and of course what is happening? Yes, let's reset these things. So this is very interesting. Let's take the object and make some rotation here. This is experimental. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's not applied. Let's apply this rotation. So rotating the object doesn't do nothing. I know that rotating the mesh does. So for example, you see the widgets rotate, and you can even do the crazy things. Okay, special effects. If you have lots of widgets, all of them move in local space ways. It's very funny. So, but it's not what we need here. So I can make transforms to the mesh itself on edit mode and have immediate effect. That is what I was doing when I was modeling that thing, the ice track widget. And then what I need here, hold on, let me check something on the internet. Okay, yes, the timer. Let me give from this point on, I forgot, sorry, 30 minutes and see how far it go. Then it gives me an idea of the time. Okay, now I need to yeah, so this doesn't do nothing, but if I apply the rotations, it of course applies there. All right, so because I have this on the left side, you see that other is receiving terrible transforms. Actually, this is happening because I didn't change this thing for the other side. So let's do this. Let's and the easy way to do this, just symmetrize that bone. Okay. So now what we see is that why the scale is inverse. Oh, it's a symmetry. It's how it keeps symmetry. Alright, but so apparently this widget is working, but maybe something would go wrong if I tried differently. Are they really? Oh, an inverse scales is like a way that it calculates this kind of situation. So maybe this is possible. Yes. So it automatically gave me a solution. So you see, I have yeah, that's a fine discovery. If this is true, it should work for everything else. So what I want to do here is just to actually I want to have where is the bone, first of all, in edit mode, the bone. Alright, so I need instead to get this mesh to this center, to the bone. I'll do that by moving the object and the object entirely. Actually, it's the opposite that I need, but this bone. Yeah, so I wouldn't like to unalign this, but it's doable. There are two bones here that I need to move in sync, actually those two. The question is, should I do this tilting from here, this movement from here, or from just the custom shapes? I think in this case, because I want to maintain this alignment of these bones, I will this looks like this bone is not aligned properly. Let's align it with yeah, it is tilted. I need to maybe done this accidentally. And here scaling is not a problem because this won't affect the widgets. Okay, so I don't know what is happening to this bone that it doesn't want to get. It looks like it's not. Okay, whatever. I won't care about that. It's just strange. Maybe it's just a visual effect. Oh, I can know this by checking here. Z, yeah, Z of the tail and the head is different. I have no idea why this is happening on edit mode, even with this snapping to grid on absolute grid snap. Anyways, let's go back here. I don't want to check those bones here. So what I need here, let's see, sorry, I'm trying to figure out, yes, what to do. This bone, for some reason, is still not having exactly the same position as this one. And this is because of the bone position, right? Yes. So what I need to do, because the bone starts here and I don't want to move the bone, I will have to forcefully move this thing. This is a special, yes, no, actually this kind of case will repeat itself. So the question is, should I keep the widget on the right place that I really want, or at the custom shape at the bone place? So I could break the alignment, favoritize the custom shape, but then I would rarely see the, as I work on the armature, I think it would, any changes there, I won't have this reference directly, so it's not very safe. So what is safer in this case would be just to try to align the bone itself, the widget. So why this would be required? Because of the bone rotation, of course. So this is unavoidable unless I wanted to rotate the bones. But this is dangerous, right? Because if I rotate the bones to match the axis of the bone, the rotation, the transforms the bone on edit mode or even on pose mode, they are essential for the rig, facilitating rig features. So I don't want to rotate the bone. I have tried. This breaks my rig there. I don't like the. It will be cool, but it same as this thing. It will give too much priority on this exacting thing, and so I prefer to do in this case the opposite, right? So let's change things here to match as best as possible the position, right? And this is not too hard now because is it y-axis? Yes. And the z is just for this one. It doesn't need to be a perfect match, it's just a reference, but it's quite good, right? And so now we go back to the bone, we symmetrize, and here we go. And now my object here, not on pose mode, here, my widget, no, my custom mesh object, why I cannot select only it, the alt doesn't want me to select it for some reason. Okay, so I want to select the custom, yeah, so the object, don't move it, don't apply location, have its things, rotations and scale already applied, so this is the case, like not all transforms, so rotation and scale, and yeah, nothing changed, so that's great. And I will lock it because that's what I require, and this is good as new. And so this is a proof of concept. I can work the symmetrical custom shapes for all the bones. I will work them on their position for rest position, sorry, or rest pose more likely. The problem is that I'm gonna change the rest pose and other situations. So there are some other situations. Yeah, there are many bones I'll have to change, but that I'll spare you from watching probably. And just details, because I want to make change of the rest position for the mesh and the whole armature. As part of some rigging experiments, I'm gonna make advanced rigging for the complex joints, that is the shoulders and the hips and the thigh connection, and that requires me to make some tests of rest position changes. Currently my rest pose for the character is not that one, that's the rest pose indeed, but the rest position for the mesh and for the skeleton is, I locked the character, the body, is that one. This already was already part of this process that I was talking about. Okay, I don't want to select the mesh right now, I don't need, so we can hide that. All this is working, and so this is a second successful thing, and it works as a proof of concept for this. So I'll work whatever important shape key on the side, and I'll move all the others to their what would be their ideal positions now, even though I'm gonna change that later on, slightly make some change, but okay, let's hide that. This is done. Which are the other shape key, sorry, not shape keys, the other custom shapes that I would like to change? Of course, that will be this one of them. So this, you know, Rigify use some sort of thing like that. Also for the hips and the spine, I don't remember exactly, but I've made different from each of them, and I'll make something different for this one. It will be something like that. And I might require another control bone for the spine, the torso rig, because I'm getting some new ideas. But for now, I just want a custom shape, brand new for that one, that will like a bit like this one, but we'll start from scratch, folks. So here I don't want to, yes, let's keep this custom shape for now. I will make a duplicate of so where it is, I'm using the spine. There's a basal reference, where it is hidden, there we go. I will duplicate it let's yes, its location is unlocked. Let's hide that one because we don't move it anymore. I don't care if I move it, I just need to maintain it symmetrized. Let's make a mirror modifier already for this thing. Delete actually just faces, no, faces that are selected. Then adding, yes, I'm keeping the mirror modifier, and the mirror modifier for the custom shape objects, it works for the custom shapes in action. So this is pretty convenient. And so I could start editing from it, but first let's see the, yes, it is facing, but just to make sure, recalculate normals outside, yes, just to make sure. And then this will give some, let's make a clipping tool that will be called, what's the name of this, not shoulders, I don't know how it's called, it should be upper torso, but I'll call it collarbone, I'm not sure, I don't know how would call this, we'll have to, in English we'll have to investigate, so this I'm working on. And yes, 02 is fine, it has some priority. And then let's see, how can we achieve this? So I will disconnect this thing, I don't want the middle ones, so it will be just a bit like that one. It will be a more, I want this stuff, proportional editing, and now we go creative, right? We can do whatever we want now. I don't really know what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna explore the shapes, and we'll eventually find something interesting. Sometimes, of course, this might require to take this off for a while. The other bones are kind of on my way, so I'm gonna hide the armature for a moment. The idea that people do is something like that, right? So I'll get that idea. I steal that idea. It's what artists do in a good sense. Not copy, but steal. And then same here. It looks like those anime character design cloaks, right, with armor or mecha stuff, I don't know. Large spalder, so I think that's it. That has absolutely no usefulness. This is too big, of course. This won't be much useful, but it's see, maybe if I get it some sort of inclination like that. Let's get some smoothing out of all this thing, right? It needs some shape that it makes it unique, and so I'm still looking for what could make it like that or like that. I think like that is more interesting. But it cannot be too large. Maybe it can be large at some point. Where is this? How many faces it has 6 faces, so this would be the center line. So these 2 faces would be a bit larger, and the other, and maybe tinier here, thinner here. And as these ones, they will be okay to be smaller. And of course here proportional editing should help. Then here this part could be something like that. Now let's make sure. Yes, here need to make some rotation here. This could be more like a shoulder bone, right, master, as I have already. I could revise my shoulder bones and make them cooler, but these things, yes, it's a good idea. I could make some change to the, and also to conform to this new shape that is taking this part. So I'll make this more rounder instead of, because if it is not, if it goes like too, it's, I think it's cool that it stay wider for this one, because then it will interact less with the character, in the sense it won't get in the way of the mesh too much. There will be more space to breathe between the mesh, the actual character, and the custom shape. This is not good, maybe just a little, or actually this is the one that I want to be opposite. So this is design stuff, right? So it's the only cool thing about making shape keys, custom shapes, is that. So that's the only way why this is artistically relevant. And the technique we can learn on any tutorial, any good tutorial. And so probably you have better ideas than me on this thing, but we're getting somewhere. Just taking, yes, this should be smaller. Maybe some more subdivision here would be good at this point, just to have some more malleability on these shapes. I'm having difficulty in rotating the way I want. This could have some tilt in this sense. These ones, they could be reduced. Let's make a smooth of everything again. And let's scale down this face, because then it will control indirectly the other. So in this case, yeah, I had better, it had better conditions before. So unfortunately, yes, more round shapes here. Let's activate again this and try something like that. And maybe those ones going too much into the interior is not necessary. So maybe this, let's keep it simple, right? And small and smaller, yeah. What about this for a shoulder thing? Maybe if I make some tilting here, or maybe if I scale it to the y-axis, something like that, wider, so easier to pick in this sense. Can I scale it in other ways like that? No. Well, that like that could be, but it's too large then. Something like that. And of course, general scaling can help too. Maybe something like that. About rotation, maybe now I'm not satisfied too much with this orientation here, so maybe let's return to the idea of tilting to the interior. And there's a lot of unalignment here, which is not very satisfying. this kind of asymmetry. Let's see if I can improve this with some tweaking here. Of course, this is too large now, it won't help. Yeah, and of course then I should have done more times. Smoothing tool, smooth tool. Alright, I'm about to say this is enough for that one. Maybe that one, just a less tweak. Maybe this can go to the bottom and this one can stay more or less like that. What if I used another mirror modifier on this one? That's a cool idea. I think, what is the best side here? I feel like the front side is a little better in this case, so let's take advantage of it. And I'm afraid this is not gonna mirror properly. Yeah, I needed some... It's something related to the origin, I guess. Currently the origin is there. And of course, let's do something like that. If I pick this and let's duplicate, hide, apply on this mode and pick this and this and use this, the cursor to the center. I'll leave the cursor there. I'm gonna delete this side, then geometry origin to 3D cursor, then here activate mirror modifier. Nothing works. Actually it worked but I need to activate this thing. And here there are some crazy thing going on. Despite the clipping, I think I cannot get rid of that. Not the Z. Is that corrupting the mesh or is it adequate? I think it's adequate. If I have started with this symmetry, it will be much easier, right, from the start, but okay, now it's much easier to play with the shapes, right? Now, because we're seeing from the top, it might be better to do something like that. This could be a bit larger here, and this could be much smaller here, right? Does it work doing something like that? No, it's too much in the waves, and this we can do something like that. And here, why not doing something like that? And keep like that. Okay, that is it. Finally, I'm satisfied with that. Final shape here, and that is it for the this custom shape. So let's I need to apply stuff. It's all applied already, so let's just lock everything here. Don't need to apply, right? See, but if you wanted to know rotation scale, that's not location, not all transforms. This will, its origin will stay there, and that is a problem regarding the bone. Actually, the origin I've used for the mirror modifier, right? and but the bone would be more important. So if I move this, I cannot move this, but if I move this on whatever x is, not whatever x and z, without rotations, I'm afraid it would, no, it doesn't affect the mirror modifier, so that's good. Okay, but we're not changing anything like that, so I want to have this at the location of the bone that is gonna receive this thing, and the bone that we're gonna receive this is this one. So the active element is here, and so apparently that bone, is that true? It is there. Yes, because then this bone is being changed. This is a rest pose, not a rest position for this bone here, so that's why it's not aligned. So it doesn't matter. Or does it matter actually? If I picked, for example, well, the other time I was using the rest position for the bone, so I could use the, right? I could use here too. It will, this is the bone that I want. Maybe on pose mode it would be better. But let's try first with the rest position of it. Then let's change this thing, custom shape here, to not spine. Now I have new color bone. Yeah, wrong name probably. And then this custom shape is invert, of course, because here I have to reset all those things and things go wrong. There is some, now I must address the question, of course, of the rotations of the bone, right? I cannot change this. This is rig stuff, so I'm not gonna align this bone to match the thing. This is too dangerous, too inconvenient for workflow, really bad circumstance. So it could be useful for another case. 20 minutes gone, let's go for another, no, 30 minutes gone, let's go for another 30 minutes. And here, hold on. Alright, so what are the circumstances of this bone? Z, aha, alright, so it has, its z-axis is pointing forwards, so this is why, differently from this thing, if I check its gizmo, I go on object and axis, z-axis pointing forward is not that thing. So what I would do in this case would rotate this on, actually I must unlock this, rotate this here, derotate the mesh, actually, yeah, so now I cannot apply the rotation for this, and I'm afraid this will affect the mirror modifier. So derotate this on 90 degrees. Yes, this compromised the mirror modifier. So there is, this is something I didn't expect. With the mirror modifier, this creates this problem. But if I applied the mirror modifier, I wouldn't be suffering from this, right? So let's apply. I'll keep a backup, but this is dangerous. I'm gonna save this thing, then I'm gonna derotate this thing, and of course there should be a tilt expected because the bone is slightly rotated. This I can match with the, right, with the custom shape panel. And then there is yes, the origin I need to match. So is that exactly that location? Select the bone. To active, now yes, in the head of the bone, not the middle of it. And then I go here and selection to cursor. And there it is nearly matched. Let's see what is. Now what happens is, remember, there is this difference between pose mode and edit mode. This is because of the bendy bone spine that I have. So this is normal for this rig. So I'll have to deal with that. I prefer to keep the rest position as the main reference, because the rest pose can change, like whatever thing I can change the rest pose. But the rest position I want to maintain it right. So here I just have to adjust these references to well, actually I don't need to do nothing. This is ready already. This is my new custom shape, and if I wanted to match, because the bone is getting transforms, automatically it repositions the thing, it rotates the thing. Yeah, this is perfect. It's doing all the things that I needed. So I respected the rest position of the bone, the origin at it. And then all these further transformations were made automatically. And so here what I want to do is, of course, transform this color. So it would be a, where it is? Viewport display, what's the name of this? Why I can't find the bone groups here? It will be a master bone. And here we go. And yeah, kind of small, smaller than that one, but kind of, at least it's original. I like it. I don't like this one though. I would need to do something about that. The problem is that these bones are always it's the same that I'm using for the fingers. I'm not even sure if it's a good idea. So let's now get this thing hidden. Let's go for another one. I'll make shoulder bones this time. Do I have, yeah, shoulder finger, you see? So it will be just finger. I'll maintain this shape for the finger, but we'll make slightly change for, we'll adapt for shoulders. And so this will be where it is. It is here. I will duplicate this shape, and as previously, we'll bring it to the left side, right? So I'm moving the object, I don't care, because it will be our new method. Now let's find its position. Now the rotation, of course, I will have to apply. Let's see its gizmo axis. So as I apply rotation, it will match. So the world axis, right? And because the armature has the same orientation as the world axis, this is good. But then I'll have the issue with the bone orientation, right? Getting familiar with that. So location doesn't matter, rotation is already set. The origin, that's the first thing we're gonna work, will be the origin. So where is the bone? The shoulder bone is this one. It's too big, perhaps unnecessarily big. Let's see about its custom shape, what it is like. Yeah, I don't want that anymore, but then it will cause some issues. Okay, visual issues, so I cannot do that. We'll do that later. So this is the position, that more or less something like that. Let's rescale, because the scale I have just to apply just as the rotation. It would be something like that. This one maybe higher than it were originally, something like there, so more space between the mesh and the custom shapes. Then I apply scale. Then let's get the armature and find the middle position between those two bones. Let's make this the origin, set to 3D cursor, the origin, and then we start editing this mesh. And in this case, let's start the creative part. I believe I can do the symmetric thing here again, so I hope I'm doing this properly. So let's add mirror modifier. So this time I've worked the origin, all that, and the positioning before making the mirror modifier. So let's see, this is one step fine, and this is not fine. And so why is this happening? The shoulder bone is it really? Oh, I see. Actually, I want the head of the bones to be the reference. I'm not sure this would solve the problem though. So this means that I need to remake this. It got some improvement, but it's not enough. If I change here though, I could have this matching and they clip, and that's great. But then my mesh, yeah, just will work on the other. No, it's out of. Yeah, it goes. Too much space. I cannot make this symmetric with that origin. But if I change that origin, I would have trouble with the. You know what? Let's make a test here. If I pick this, yes, this is too backwards, right? So let's change the cursor. This is a good moment to use this view 3D cursor, and let's change it on location for y-axis. Let's add some, no, it's negative, somewhere like here, sliding, somewhere like here. Well, this is where my origin is. Let's make something like 200 0.23. Okay, let's make this one the new origin. And now, yeah, I'm always struggling with the mirror modifier. This is not the way I'm familiar with using the mirror modifier. This is why this is a bit complicated for me, but okay, this will work for me. So yes, the for some reason here I'm having to make slightly different approach to this. Now the doubt is how I'll have this. Yeah, this sounds better. And let's reduce this and make something like that. Yeah, this is all much simpler. It's just a shoulder bone. I cannot rotate this in any way because of the mirror modifier along this plane. Okay, this is convenient. And here aesthetical choices that I'm not sure. Something like that, why not? Yes, but then this seems a bit chaotic here. Let's about to finish that one. Okay, why not that? That is cool. It's now this pointy to pointy line seems like a bit too much. Let's do instead something. Let's make some rotation, like no, not the opposite way. What if we made something crazy like this? Then get this thing like that and something like that, and here like I feel like it would be good if I had another plane to work with. Yeah, these shapes they need some sort of alignment to look good. This cannot be below. And this is nearly fine now. Let's see this. Slightly diamond shape. An hexagon shape. That looks more like a pentagon. This thing. So last adjustments here, some rotation here, and maybe some augment of the size here. Now this looks too big, and it's like just a bit more downward here and slightly smaller. That's great. Okay, I think this will work. And so yeah, I want that to be really smaller than that, because there is, as we add these bones and these shapes, the space start to get reduced. And in the future I'd like to add here too, perhaps. So let's make the final change. So this has to be changed. So first let me change this name. This will be F2 doesn't work here. So this will be 03 shoulder. Now you have a real shoulder, and now 03 shoulder. Then I can safely remove all that because and that too. It got displaced, and I don't know why exactly right now, because origin is there, mirror modifier is good, applied things are applied, these things are correct. Oh, it's the bone orientation, of course, and the shoulder bones orientations, they are tilted in whirl axis way. No, so it's not the, it is the position of the bone, of course. I made this thing wrong. What was the pattern for the other one? The starting position of this should be, no, it should be itself. The origin is the one that, let me just pick the other one I want to compare. Where is this one? Because I've just learning or relearning this thing. Okay, no, it's in the middle, right? I'm not doing different, and in this case even in this case the axis was completely different. In this case the axis of this is matching the axis of this thing, correct? It's the change of the bone. It gets displaced here. How is it possible? I don't remember that on my rig. But the fact is that, oh, the whole rig is being displaced. Not the whole rig. This thing is not working symmetrical now. It's being displaced to the left side. It's as if the origin for it is not working. Okay, I really need to take this back as a reference to investigate this. So the origin is correct. It still get the mirror modifier, but I'm not using it for whatever reason. It breaks things, so I'll delete it for now. The world origin is correct. The bones are, what is the orientation again for this? Z-axis pointing forward, and Z-axis pointing forward too. So really I cannot understand this, but oh, of course, this is not the reference I should use. I should use this reference because the shoulder different for that other bone is of course this is a case just like this one, and a case like this one is like what? This doesn't matter here. What matters is the I. So what is its, where is the origin? I need to make it selectable. Okay, the origin is itself. Okay, the origin is in the object, right? It's a side object. So this was the mystery. So there is some knowledge, specific complications into making, how do you say, widgets in Blender. It's not like trivial. There's some learning to be done. And this was a very basic mistake, right? But actually it's not that simple. It's intermediate knowledge. Too many things to take into account. But we finally got it. Where is it? Where is it? It's not collarbone, shoulder, tree shoulder here. So what I need to do is just to now change this origin, which is wrong for what I want to do, the method I'm trying to use. So let's get this back. I will get it to, so do I decide to have this origin on the object itself? Let's try this thing first. I don't think this will be a good idea, but maybe that will work. Set origin to 3D cursor. This destroys my my mesh, but at least you see things get in the right place. Let's try different now. Let's get this and let's add let's pick this vertex here, and now let's do it. Set origin to 3D cursor. This makes the mirror modifier go crazy, at least. Yes, the one that I was well, this is keeps correct. This one is the one that gets wrong. The plane of symmetry, right? It's now right there, but I don't need this plane of symmetry right here. So I can use this mirror object. Let's see how I did for the eye. Does it even possess a mirror modifier yet already? It doesn't use this, but we could use this for, and it does only exist on one side anyway. So yes, this means that I've used this mirror modifier actually for itself, right? The circle itself. And so no mirror modifier, right? Actually just for the y-axis, that's right. It's our y-axis. Now, yes, it's clipped, it's merged. I can now use this properly, I hope. If I hide this, okay, we don't see the shoulder bone. Why is that? Because the shoulder bone now is there, and so I still have some trouble. So this is not solved yet. But I could easily solve. Is it aligned at least? No, there's some changes. If I take this off, the bone has some slightly movement, so this is normal. I should though align. Yeah, the idea would be to align this with the this can be so confusing. Also because the rest pose and rest position change. Let's see. If I'm thinking of taking the cursor and then align it up there. But for that I don't want to ruin my mirror modifier, so I'll have to duplicate, hide one of them, apply the other. I'll keep this as a backup, and then yes, it's not about I need to move the object to a certain. Okay, so it will be this, then I go on here, then we get the cursor, we get this, no, get the cursor. No, this is the rotation of the cursor. I want no, this doesn't go Control Z. Okay, so let's try it again. Let's copy this just to, yes, it's a Z because it's world axis. So that will be somewhere like here. Let's see that. A little higher. This would be good enough, except that I've made radical change here. What is the, for the head, the X is this one, so copy that, go back to the cursor and get that here. Now it is aligned here, and I want that to be 20 minutes more. Let's 30 minutes more. Let's go again, because I want at least to finish that one. Alright, let's assign, not assign, let's selection to cursor. Of course it looks displaced, but then we'll see what will happen to the bone itself as I give the custom 03 shoulder. No, it also doesn't really help. So yeah, I really don't know. What I'll do, I'll just try to get this in some position that looks good, and I'll try just to match it then. So this is the rest pose that I want. It has the transforms applied, yes, except for the location. If I get this thing with the mirror modifier on its y-axis, let's see if this ruins, actually delete faces. Now the mirror modifier is okay, so we can keep it. So I leave it on this like that, and then let's go here, and with this one let's just procure some changes here. No, not this one. No, this is rotation, it's Z, and let's get it as close as x-axis. That, well, let's leave it like that because it's zeroed, and that. Yeah, that's enough matching for me. So then all this is fine. We can go wireframe, but no, we made the shape like that exactly to not have wireframe. So this I can lock everything now. This we gonna save now. I'm gonna hide it. I get the bone. I go on edit mode for the bone. I symmetrize, and the bone is there, and the custom shape we can, okay, and this is new because this is a new one, and so we progress. So there's now a shoulder bone that perhaps I should master shoulder bone. Maybe I could give it a control color, control bone color. This is more like it's a deformed bone. I don't remember, hold on, I just need to check this because this color is wrong if it's the case. The body, yes, it's a deformed bone, but actually it is more working like a helper bone in this case. So I could give it this other color here. So, okay, now we don't get confused. Well, if you know what a bit more about rigging. So yeah, I just have few helper bones so far. For example, my helper bones for the body, actually they are only for the body. They would be here for the thigh, and for the shoulder there's only that one, and I'm gonna make a new one. So this is work to be revised. Yeah, here's another one. I want my project for this armature deform method with helper bones is I'm gonna merge all into a single bone, and I'm gonna make some advanced trick there, but that will be for the near future, but it's getting closer. So still on the widget thing, couldn't finish that, but we're at least I'm learning something, and hope you do too if you watch that. I could make an entire tutorial for this problematics because it's actually quite interesting. And what lacks, this one should require something, and that one, yeah. So basically two more bones that would be essential. And because I was already doing this for too long on this today, I'll see what I'll do. See ya folks, happy blending and have a nice weekend.